I had remained at the company, then you can't sue the company of which you're a director.
Michael Woodford drops his bid to come back as Olympus chief, blaming a cozy management setup and saying the affair has taken a toll on his family. The man who blew the whistle on a $1.7 billion accounting fraud says he'll now sue for unfair dismissal. Tara Joseph in Hong Kong has the full story.
Axel, it's been a 3-month battle for Woodford to get his old job back, but finally today the British whistleblower calling it quits at a press conference in Tokyo. Now in the end, Woodford couldn't get support from Japanese institutional shareholders. They're the ones who control the company, and he says it's evidence that things have not changed in the cozy and closed-door corporate world of Japan.
Only in Japan can you have companies appointing an independent committee, but if it doesn't like it, it will produce another independent committee.
Well, Woodford's not quite finished with Olympus. He's planning to sue for unfair dismissal, and he's instructed his lawyers to begin legal action in Britain. So not the end of the Woodford Olympus saga. If the legal case goes on, it could just be the beginning. Axel?
Many thanks, Tara. Europe no longer has any reason to fear Italy, so says Italian PM Mario Monti, due to meet France's Nicolas Sarkozy today. Let's get out to Eric Wand, rate strategist at Lloyds Bank Corporate Markets. Morning, Eric. Do you buy what Monti's saying?
Yeah, good morning, Axel. Well, I should like to buy it, but I think the market is not expressing the same amount of confidence as Mario Monti is, certainly in the immediate outlook for Italy and its debt situation at this current time.
I mean, how are we going to see any growth in Italy?
Good question. I think before we get to that stage, I think we're going to need to see some pretty impressive structural reforms put in place, which could still dent the immediate growth outlook. I think the market is looking for that, and ultimately that does need to be addressed if this situation is to be rectified over the medium term.
On the non-farm payrolls, is 150,000 enough to confirm a strengthening US economy?
Yeah, I think the market is probably maybe even a touch higher than that now after what we've seen this week in terms of the manufacturing and services ISM and also the ADP report. So I think the market's probably looking for a little bit higher than that. We're going for 160 ourselves, but I think there is certainly some evidence of an underlying gain in traction in this space.
And how do you trade 150, 160?
I think that's probably going to be not that far from consensus. So we're stuck in a range. You look at the 10-year, it's sort of bang in the middle of the range. If we do get a rally on a perceived soft number, then I think next week's supply is still going to come into focus and likely to lead to better sellers. In either case, we still think treasuries can underperform the likes of gilts and bunds in the near term.
Okay, many thanks, Eric. While the jobs theme gets top billing on counterparties, a scathing piece from the Huffington Post reminds US workers that Obama has failed miserably on his 2008 $9.50 minimum wage pledge. The federal minimum wage stays at $7.25. World news on Reuters this morning: Iran is facing cutbacks in its oil sales to China and Japan. A trader based in Beijing says China will extend cuts in its purchases of Iranian oil into next month. Europe's government this week also agreed to ban Iranian oil imports. That is it for now. We are heading into the weekend. Of course, it's cold and damp again in London, so here's how things look in Cardiff, California. Our pick of the day comes from Reuters photographer Mike Blake. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.